Hello crafters and welcome to P2PCrafts Lockdown Live, brought to you by From Picture to Page and Beyond Papercraft shows. I'm your host, Michelle Brown, Creative Director at From Picture to Page, which is our scrapbooking, mixed media art and paper crafting community. Now, P2PCraft Lockdown Live is a series of demonstrations for you over the next few weeks. And we're here to bring you some scrapbooking, some card making, some art journaling, and of course, all sorts of wonderful things to keep you active, engaged, and hopefully enthusiastic over the next few days. So for all the details of our sessions, head over to our website from picturetopageandbeyond.com.au and you can see who's coming up, catch all the replays, and of course, sign up to our email list so you can get all the updates straight into your inbox. Now, whether you are watching live or a replay, we would love to know that you're there. So pop into the comments, say hi, just like Pam and Carol have. Let us know that you're there. Tell us where you're watching from. And of course, if you've got any questions, let us know as well. So today, P2PCrafts Lockdown Live is with Michelle from Snazzi Scrappin. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. How are you going?
Oh, it's so good to have you here again today.
Well, I'm not really in lockdown, but we've been, as you know, Dave and I have been self-isolating virtually for the last 15 months due to his health conditions. So I sort of know what it's like for the people in Melbourne, but at least, we can go out and do our grocery shopping whenever we like and things like that. But really feeling for you people down there.
Oh, thank you. And look, we know, like you said, it's different for everyone. Some people are still really, really busy. Others will actually have time to hopefully catch your breath. And of course, the challenge is, if you do, how do we get into that right mindset to do some crafting?
Yeah, that's right. And that's the thing that we've got to be careful of. We've all got to think about our mindset and, our mental well-being. And, I've joined Wendy's nice little Facebook page, and it's great. She's a very positive person.
Yes. No, Wendy's a very good supporter of us. And I know she's watching, and she says don't click on the link. So goodness only knows what's happening in the background. I will have to check that out later. Not to worry. Michelle, what have you got to show us today?
Well, I've got some new products which I'm going to show you, and our new Creator Card die set came out on Friday. I actually already had it organised to release that day, sorry. Otherwise, if I'd known you were going to do this snap lockdown, I would have held it to today.
Sorry, I think if we all knew we were going to do a snap lockdown, we all would have moved to Queensland. So.
Yes, like my daughter, yes. But some of the some people that are watching wouldn't have seen my YouTube video yet, and they may not have seen some of the other things that I'm going to show anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always good to revisit these things. And even, like you said, if you've seen it before, there's always something you can pick up.
Look, Michelle, I only have to post something in my VIP group or on the Snazzi Scrappin page. It might be something that I bought out 6 months ago, but there's always somebody that hasn't seen it. I try and make photo albums in the VIP group and on the Snazzi Scrapper page of all our products, so people can go and, if they purchase them, they can go and have a look and see what other customers in my design team have actually created out of the products. So it gives them ideas and makes it easy for them, I suppose.
Fantastic. And isn't it amazing how you can have like exactly the same products but to different members of your design team and end up with something so different?
Well, they're all very different. Sharon's probably more like me. Nicole's very technique-based, and Hayley's totally different. Like the three of them, they all complement each other. Hayley's a real technical wizard at the website and things like that. So if ever I have any questions, and my nephew works as well as does my website, so I can ask her little bits, or she gives me lots of pointers to do like different things. And often Sharon had put her samples up and Hayley had put the links on, but now she's trained Sharon how to do the links. So but it's just little things like that. And so they come up with totally different things, and totally different from me because I'm not really a card maker.
Well, as I keep saying to Mary at Craft Zone, you've made a card, therefore you are a card maker.
Yes, I like making cards, but I'm not a fancy card maker. I'm a plain card maker, mass producer type.
Well, and I think that's what we love about Snazzi Scrapping and your range of dies, because you really think about how to put together a card and then kind of reverse engineer it and make it simple for everyone.
Yeah, well, my idea is with my die sets is that you don't have to measure anything, and the dyes do it all for you, like our basic mat set and things like that. I did that because Anne, that worked for me for years, she could never cut straight, and so she would make beautiful cards and does beautiful techniques, and she's probably like you, she does mixed media and did folk art and china painting and all that type of stuff. She's a bit older than us, but she would have real trouble getting things straight. So my dyes just take that away. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and I think, look, even the best of us have some days where we just couldn't cut straight to save ourselves, so.
Yeah, if you're doing it at night with poor light.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, will we jump into it?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, well, Michelle gets herself ready, and I will jump on and ban those people that are being a little bit naughty. So the idea is that we're here to enjoy our craft and play together. So if you want to play not nicely, then we'll play not nicely too, and you can just go away. Otherwise, let's get on with Michelle and her card demonstration. Okay, Michelle, take it away.
So you can see me there?
Yes, we can.
Now, the first thing I wanted to show was just a few new products that we've just released. And this was one of them. I'm just grabbing them. And this is our newest stamp and die set. So all hand drawn by Lynn from Lynn Art Designs. And this, you don't get a die for the tree. It's like to be used for a silhouette card with a background. And then these were the gum leaves, different size gum leaves were requested from Hayley on the design team, because she has done a lovely tutorial on how to make a realistic looking gum leaf out of paper. So she wanted stamps and dies on that. So that's our newest stamp and die set. I just wanted to say to people, because I have a fair few customers that order our stamp and dies, but they don't realise I carry a whole lot of other range of products. So I carry quite a bit of range of stuff that I purchased through Darker and Door from Rachel. I like to support her because she is the Ranger distributor in Australia.
Yeah.
We carry the Dauber sets, and we also have the blending brushes for you to use with your inking. So whether you like Daubers or the brushes. And I also have the Ranger inking tools as well. So that's something just to keep in mind. So when I first started with the creator cards, I started with this one. Anne-Marie, that was on the design team then, had made one of the cards, and she had expressed how long it had taken her. They take her to cut out all the bits and pieces and everything. So I just sat there one Sunday drawing it from the sample and thought, oh, I could do that. So that's our shutterfold one. The next one we released was the step fold one, which sits like that. So with them you get all the dies to decorate as well. So most of them are between 5 and 8 die sets. We then brought out the window one, which is quite popular, and that one's very easy to make a shaker card with too. I've got a YouTube tutorial on our YouTube channel that shows you how to do that. So then we brought out the easel card, and the girls in the design team used this to make calendars with post-it notes, which looked really good. Then we brought out the wiper card or pop-up card. So this one it just has 2 little things on the side.
That's very clever. Could you just hold it upwards so we could see inside it?
Yeah, so it's like that.
Oh, okay.
Nicole made this one for me for Christmas. She does amazing backgrounds, yeah. And, but it's quite... Hayley did the instructions for this one, so it's Hayley in the video on the YouTube, but you also get printed out instructions with that one. So that's the pop-up card.
Oh, nice.
Then I did the diamond fold one. This is our most popular one out of the lot. So that's quite a popular one.
Yeah, it's such an effective fold, isn't it? It's not what you're expecting when you open a card.
Yep. and then this is a V-fold one. I actually, with that one, Michelle, I actually used to run a little class when I had Snazzi Scrappin as a bricks and mortar store, where I'd have 3 of those and I'd put them in together and make a little album. So I'd put photos on there. So I'd cut out 3 of this size. I'll have to make one and do it. And then you just tape that one on this like onto there and then there, and then it all folds up, and then you make a little cover. So I make an album for it. So this is the V-fold one. So that's just a different fold. You do get another die to go on the front that's got an oval with a rose, just so in case you wanted to do female-inspired ones. And then our latest one, which sold out very quickly, and I've got it coming back in mid-June, was the rocker card one. So that's, you get a scalloped circle and a scalloped die there as well. So that was extremely popular. I did that live cross with Wendy, and then it just sold out very quickly. So this is our newest one. So this is a Waterfall Card Die Set, and I'll just show you some things I made with it first. So this is the first one I made.
That's so clever.
Yeah, so I've used the cows. I'm all right with just stamping. I actually used, I don't know whether you've, I sell the VersaFine Claire ink pads, and Bev Smallman was telling me how wonderful they were, how much better they are than Memento and everything like that.
Okay, better in what way? What did you find?
Well, I find sometimes with Memento, I always use Memento like in this type of thing when I'm using Copic markers, because they don't bleed through it. But I found that the sentiment stamp was just clear, crisp and perfect every time I used it. So I used all of these. I used the VersaFine Claire for the sentiment. So this is the other one as well that I did.
I don't think I've seen it with circles before.
Well, that. I'll show you the die set, what you get in the die set in a minute. And then I made this little book, so you could see that you can actually do it for
lovely.
photos. That's my daughter and her partner.
And that'd be nice for like a little birthday card, and then have like a selection of photos.
Well, I've actually done that before, where I've put this part on a scrapbook page before too.
Okay.
Years ago, where I've just had it on the front of a scrapbook page and you can just pull it down and see all the photos. But yeah, it'd be nice for a Nana's brag book or something, you know, if you wanted to give a present. So I've used for that one, I've used the cow set that we've got, a cow stamp and die set, but of course I've just stamped it, so that's that one. For this one, I used our Aussie animals stamp and die set, so they've turned out. I said that before. See, on the stamp set it looks like the emu doesn't turn out. That's a little production error, but as you noticed that it does, it stamps clearly in that. And then today I'm going to show you what you get in it. So in the die set you get the base die. Now what I do to put it through, I put a piece of washi tape and I run it through this way first.
Right.
That way all the way through, and then I'll just carefully turn it round and I just go back and forward. I don't go over the lines, the fold lines twice.
Right.
I need to do that, because if you do that too much you might end up cutting through. But
and what thickness card are you using, because that can make a difference too?
I'm using 300 GSM for these ones, but most of them I'd use 280 to 300.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm doing a base thing. Now, with this little mini book, and I'll show you, if you do use a textured piece of card, I don't know whether you can see that one's textured, make sure your texture goes this way and you fold these back over on top of the texture that it's facing up when you put your card together. Otherwise you'll have the plain side on there, okay? So you want the textured side.
Right.
Now, in this little die set, I'll just move all these pieces over here. Okay, so you get the squares to do the square one like we're doing today. So you get a plain square and a stitched square.
Oh, okay.
You get a scallop circle and the stitched circle. So that's what I used for the Aussie Animals one. You get these two little ones for your sentiment there. So that. And then you get your anchor piece that's a stitched rectangle.
Yep.
And if you have a look on all these, you can see the stitching comes out really nicely and just adds that little bit of nice thing. So I'm going to show you how to put this together. So you can probably not see those fold lines. I don't know whether you can or not.
No, not quite.
There. But so what you do is you've got 4 fold lines there, and I'm just going to, always start at the top and just make sure I'm just going to score it over it with my bone scorer. Then just make sure that you get it on the score line. This white paper, it's white cardstock, it's House of Paper. Sometimes it frays a little bit, you know, when you're scoring things, sometimes they fray a little bit. I find that the basil cardstock doesn't do that at all.
Oh, okay.
So you end up with your piece like this. Should I be doing it that way?
No, you're right, we can see.
Okay. So you end up with your piece like that towards you. And so what I've done this little thing today. So I used my 4 favourite birds. So I wanted to do this be positive. So that's
exactly what we need today.
You need to be positive at the moment. So what you're going to do first of all, tell me if I go outside the line of view, won't you?
No, all good.
I usually, if I'm doing a YouTube video, I'll have my Snazzi Scrappin little logos.
Oh, I've put your Snazzi Scrapping logo on there for you.
I put them on there so I know where not to go, like where to go. Now, what you need to do when you're making one of these cards, you've got your fold line there. Don't stick anything over your fold line.
Okay.
Okay, because what the fold line needs to fold up. So if you stick something over your fold line, you're going to get into trouble. Now, it's quite easy. You just put a piece of tape. You can either put it on the top of your cardstock or you can put it on the next one. I've just realised though that tape's a bit wide. Dave must have taken my other tape off the table.
Oh no.
Oh, I tell you, I had a lady the other day and she rang me and said that she didn't receive a die set in her scarecrow set, right? And anyway, Dave had done all them. He'd packaged all them. So I said to her, oh, my husband must have missed one out. And so I sent her another one. Well, anyway, I didn't say anything to him. The next week, she rings me and said she had to apologise, that she sends them out to the garage because her husband takes them apart for her, the die set. Anyway, because I had her on speakerphone, didn't I? And she said, so you can tell your husband he didn't do the wrong thing. Well.
Oh, no.
When she hung up, he goes, I never do the wrong thing. I never make mistakes.
Well, you just never know when you get really busy, do you? So
yeah, that's right. And sometimes mistakes do happen. I'm only human. We're all only human, aren't
That
we?
is true.
Okay, so you just stick them just under the fold line, each square that you're doing. So you can do it like that and put it on there like that if you want to. Now I've cheated a little bit with the next part because I've put jack paper on the back. So we sell it on the roll, and you just put a piece down on the back of your piece of paper before you cut it out, and then cut it out, and it makes it a sticker.
Yeah, that was revolutionary, putting double-sided adhesive on the back of die cuts.
It's just so easy. And still people don't realise that they can do it, but it just makes things so easy. So these just fit perfectly in on the squares, and these two sets I'm using is our Aussie Birds 1 and our Aussie Birds 2. I've done a mixture.
Oh, they're just gorgeous.
Anyway, I'm trying to be quick because I know that
no rush.
we're on a time thing.
Not at all. We've got all week and maybe even longer.
So when you've done it like that, okay, I need to just grab a card front. I didn't think of that, Michelle.
Yeah, and that's something to think of if you haven't done a card like this before, is to perhaps create like a practice one. So don't use your best papers, but use that right thickness, and then that just lets you check which ones you fold, how much tape to put on, because if your tape's too thick, then you might get it overlapping, and that can create a bit of a problem too. So it's always good when you've got a new die that's potentially as complex as this, to just make a few and have a play, and you'll learn so quickly as to exactly how to fold them, where to put the tapes. And then your images as well, because as you can see, they slightly overlap. So that might mean you might want to move them up a bit high so it reveals, or bring them down a bit so that they sort of peek out. So it's always good when you've got a new die like that. So yeah, give it a bit of a go, do a practice run, and then actually, have a feel for it as well. And then you'll be ready to go when you've got a card making project.
Okay, I've just chucked together a piece of basil. I think it's actually the same colour because I've just...
Yeah, it looks pretty close.
Just opened up. I've got some opening drawers, and I have them colour coded, so it said blue.
So the system worked.
I would have put the scraps in. I'm sorry about that.
No,
okay,
you're right.
So this is an important part. So I've inked around the white in faded jeans just to put that little bit of blue. Now, to anchor it, you can either use a small piece of tape, or you can use brads. It doesn't matter, whichever. But,
okay. So you could use an eyelet or a brad. That's interesting.
Yeah. So make sure you don't put too much tape, because the idea is that this has to move freely under there.
Yeah.
So originally I was going to put this one in, and then another die that you could wrap around it. But when I made the prototypes, that one wouldn't move smoothly, and I knew I'd have complaints.
Yep, and that's why we do prototypes.
Well, I probably did 6 prototypes.
Oh, wow. It's good to know that you've put some good engineering thought behind it.
I usually do probably at least 3, make up 3 beforehand, and then I look at different things I can decorate with, and like these little things and things like that. So things that I can add to make it up to a set. So that's sort of what I do. Now, that's still sort of sitting there like that. So then what you do is we need another piece of tape. I've got one there. So all you do is you work out where you're going to put that. So make sure it's nice and even, and then you put a piece of tape there, and then you move it down, and that goes even with there.
Right, and tape the bottom square down.
Yeah, and tape that bottom square down. So I'm hoping that that's correct.
So are we.
It looks pretty even, like on each side. I'm a little bit OCD. So then you've got a hole there for your ribbon. to make a tag. You can use string or ribbon. So I'll just pop that through, and that gives you your anchor that you can, I'll have to cut that, but anyway. So then you just test it, and it should just go back and forward, okay?
Fantastic.
And then, yeah, it's quite a good one, this one. One of the design team says she can't get it to sit flat, but waterfall cards, if anybody that's ever known them, they never sit flat because of the you've actually fold those up there like that. They'll never ever go back to sitting flat.
Okay, so as a card front, that's not too bad. I guess if you were putting it inside, you might want to give yourself almost a spine on the card just to let it sit up.
Yeah, and it'll still go into a C6 card. All my die sets are designed to go into a certain envelope size, so that's on the website. I'll put suits, C6 or square one, anything like that. Now this little sentiment and the Be Positive I've taken out of our mini sentiment stamp set.
Oh, nice.
So I've actually stamped the take and then the care separately, so it fits into that little...
Oh, aren't you clever?
Well, it's not hard to do. You just ink one and then ink the other.
Yep.
Carefully.
Yeah, so that's what you've got to think sometimes. What you see on the stamp isn't necessarily how it has to look like coming out. You can always modify it a little bit.
So that's that one. Yeah, and that's using our Birds 2 and our Birds 1 that's ever popular.
Definitely.
Set. So that's our newest set out. I've got another set in the pipeline, but I'm not talking about that yet.
Oh, okay.
It's I've done a couple of prototypes and it looks really, really good. So, but when I say things are coming out and then you get a spanner in the works and people are emailing you and saying, you said you were bringing this out, and it takes a bit longer. So that's that.
Yeah. So Michelle, Wendy was just asking if you could hold the sentiment stamp a bit close to the camera so that you can see a bit more detail.
So you can see what one's
that's it.
Yep. This one here for your debut, that was Nick on our design team. She wanted that one because she said you don't see that anywhere else. No. And I wanted the Be Positive and the Take Care, a couple of different ones that people, I do these ones myself, so things that people may not have seen before.
And sometimes like the sentiment is around get well, but maybe that's not the right sentiment because well is not where that person's heading, so there's always other things of thinking of you or
and often the top bloke one, I used that on this one. It was really funny because I wasn't thinking, I was just thinking about the scallop circle. So I did this, it's sort of a male theme with the top bloke, and then I thought, well, I've done a scallop circle that looks feminine. So I was a bit, I shouldn't have probably done that, but
that's fine.
Not to worry.
Yeah, and could you just show us again what comes in that die set for the waterfall card?
Okay, so you get the base die, you get the 2 squares. So
that can be used on all sorts of projects.
Oh, you don't have to. Lots of my dies mix and match. People use them on all different things. The circles, the sentiments, and the stitched rectangle.
Oh, wow.
So that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll bring you back and we'll have a chat. Excellent. So I hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't it just wonderful to see Michelle put it together? And like we said, whenever you get a die that's a little bit complicated, make a prototype. Give yourself some time just to have a play, cut it out, just see where to put the tape, just make sure you got the mechanism moving smoothly, because I remember making those a few times myself, and if you get too much tape or in the wrong spot, then it just becomes a bit of a nightmare. So it's much better if you can have a little bit of a play and then you know that you'll be right heading into making your card. So I think we've got Michelle back.
Yep.
Yes, there we are. I've got way too many tabs open on this computer today. So Michelle, that's just lovely. Thank you so much for that.
That's okay. Look, and once again, if you place an order and put P2P or lockdown in the comments, I'll pop something extra in there for you. I've done up some packs.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just for people that are doing it hard down there. Some people from Melbourne had already put in an order over the weekend, so they've got something extra coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Michelle. That's really appreciated.
Yeah, no problem. I really feel for you. My daughter was actually down there, and she's flown back yesterday, and so she's got to self-isolate for 2 weeks. But they hadn't seen her mother-in-law for 2 years, so
Oh, wow.
and wouldn't you know that the trip was planned right in the middle of a
Yeah,
lockdown.
there's so many stories. There's people who had already delayed their weddings from last year. They've had to cancel again. Others just managed to sneak them in. There was one story online of people selling off their wedding flowers because they weren't having their wedding. Just so many stories.
I feel for the businesses too, because there's no JobKeeper any. Oh well, I didn't get JobKeeper, but there's no JobKeeper anymore, and it must be really difficult. Well, you've got the shop and that, but you had a great show at Pakenham, and then you've got Geelong coming up.
Yep, that's right. And like I said, all things are looking okay at the moment. So let's just keep tuned to the socials and the website.
No, well, it looked great. I follow a few of the people that had stalls at Pakenham, and they've done really well. So it was an excellent show. Hats off to you.
Yeah, and we do miss you in person, but of course, this is definitely the next best thing.
Yeah, I know. And look, I'll get back to it one day.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, because I think sometimes the show can be so overwhelming and there's so much to see. So at least this way, we can sit down, we just get to see one thing at a time. We can really focus on it.
Well, I really don't know how I'm going to return to the show now with this website, because the website keeps me so busy now. I'll have to have show stock, website stock type of thing. So that I'm planning that though, like planning that I will have show stock and website stock. So if somebody purchases something off the website, it won't be sold at the show that I'm away at or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, the technology, sometimes it just gets the better of us, doesn't it?
It does, and you'd understand well, truly.
Yeah, excellent. So, Michelle, just remind us again of what that special offer is and where we can find you.
Yep, so the website is snazziscrappin.com. We've got a Facebook group as well, a page and a group, but don't forget, if you're not in Michelle's Papercraft Posse group, you need to join that too. I'll give that a plug in my little VIP.
Oh, thanks, Michelle.
And if you put P2P or lockdown in your comments with your order, there'll be something special coming your way, something extra. I give away something every week in my group, but that's easy when you manufacture your own stuff, Michelle, because you can afford to do that. Like it's not hard for businesses to give something away that they've bought in to resell. That's not easy because you've only got a small profit margin and that. But when it's things that I manufacture myself, and I always seem to get, the man that I deal with always sends me a few extras and that, so I can afford to give a few things away.
Oh, and Michelle, and thank you so much for your generosity of sharing all your beautiful designs, all your stamps, and just your beautiful design team that shares all their creativity with us.
Yep. No, they're always posting things up. And look, any customers that post things in our group too, I add them to the album as well, so they get their name up in lights as well, and they're able to post themselves.
Yeah. And like I said, these days there is no excuse to buy something and then say, I don't remember how it works, or I have no ideas. Like, there's so many places to go and look. We
have links on our Facebook to all my creative card. It links on the website, I mean. When you look at the product, in the wording underneath, there'll be a link to the YouTube video to show how to put it.
Yep. So the description will link to it.
Yeah, and you can actually watch that beforehand to decide whether you think that price set's for you or not. But most of them, Nola will tell you, Nola, one of my customers, that I explain things step by step. She loves that, and it just makes it look so easy. So that's what I aim to do, is that anybody can put it together and make something that's pretty amazing. And some people have won some competitions in the local shows lately.
Oh, really? Oh, that's fantastic to hear.
Yeah, that doesn't worry me. If people buy, well, you would know if you're selling a product and people are using that to create something of their own. That's just the joy of it, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for bringing Snazzi Scrapping to us again today.
Thanks, Michelle, and have a great week, everybody.
We will. Thanks, Michelle. Excellent. Well, I hope you enjoyed that waterfall card demonstration by Michelle from Snazzi Scrapping. So as Michelle said, go and check out the Snazzi Scrapping website. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below and we'll go delete those other few comments. And of course, all the details, head over to our website from picturetopageandbeyond.com.au. Give us a like, share us with your crafty friends, and of course, let everyone know about P2PCrafts Lockdown Live. We are going to be here every day for the next few days? For the next week or so. Who knows? We'll sort it out soon. So this is Michelle signing off. We hope you have a crafty day.